What is up, Rad Potential YouTube? This is not a site you are used to seeing, but it's a site that you're going to see today. We are headed to Nashville Cars and Coffee. We're going to pick up some Rotary parts, hang out with the Rotary guys. It's Charles' birthday today, 4th of July weekend. We're heading up to Indiana. Hopefully going to see Justin for a bit in this video and kind of give you the tour of the old hometown where old Mr. Rad kind of grew up. So, driving the Corvette because you buy cars to drive them, right? And the Corvette is the most fuel efficient, comfortable, nicest car I own. So of course I'm going to take it on every road trip we go on. So enjoy the day. I'm stoked you guys are here for the video. We're going to look at some sweet cars and Cars and Coffee. And maybe Johnny got the yellow FD out, but who knows? He doesn't really drive that car much, but I'd love to see it. So let's get to the live action. So usually I come to this in a Rotary car, but when I come in my Corvette, it's like I'm incognito. No one knows who I am. It's great. I can park in the back. Some people don't come find me. So since you're getting into the whole Rotary stuff, building things, this is a porting template.
Gotcha.
Okay, so I didn't have one for a full bridge. Like I have a 4-port bridge, turbo bridge.
Yeah.
But I didn't have this one. So how this works is that there's your 2 dowel spots, which I can pop that off, but the dowel hole here and here.
Yeah.
And that'll line those ports up.
Okay.
And then basically all I do is, yeah, I have a 1/8 super tiny Dremel,
yeah,
a diamond bit, and I'll drill holes through here and then just clean it up.
Okay. Alright guys, getting stoked. We're up in Indiana right now. Knee high by the 4th of July. Corn's looking good down here in the bottoms. Got the beans looking not too good, but good enough. And we're using the ultimate daily driver hauler. We have a full engine in the back of this car, as you saw. We picked up at Cars and Coffee for some port work. I've got an Rx8 seat in the passenger seat because Justin's going to put this Rx8 seat in his M3 because it's better than M3 seats, 100%. And we were on the way to Calvin. So if you don't remember Calvin from the channel, he's who helped me paint the rally car. He's who helped paint Charles' truck. Basically, he's a resident, best friend from high school, body guy. Best dude ever. Help out with anything. Awesome. So we're heading out to his house, his parents' house, or their shop. I think Justin beat me there, but we're going to get there, hang out with Justin, Carly for a little bit. He's got to pick up some Miata parts, pick up this seat. And the Corvette is ripping. This thing is sick. We made it from Cars and Coffee to the Indiana state line in a little over 2 hours. And it was good. No, we were not the fastest person on the road. I was still getting past, which was kind of funky, but it's a good rip. Gotta love southern Indiana country out here, where the land of big V8s are welcome. So before we go talk to Calvin, this is Calvin's Jeep. 3-year restoration project on this bad boy. Looks so nice. Justin's X5. We got the Corvette chilling over here. Calvin and his dad are Camaro guys, so the 81 Camaro's up there. Little 90 Camaro back here. Alright guys, we are closing out. Our Jeep didn't start.
closing out an awesome day at the family cabin, hanging out with family for 4th of July. They're going to set some fireworks off, and I'm headed to go hang out with my buddies. Hang out, put up some more fireworks. So, it's a good weekend. Good weekend. So we're driving. If you guys are interested in vehicles that aren't Mazdas, you know, watching these videos too. Got a whole bunch of toys. And this is my dad's Jeep. So you've seen my Jeep around at the farm, or the ranch, hanging out. When I was in high school, I found this old 1979 CJ7 Old Eagle for my dad. And we got it for a real good price and picked it up. And it's my cousin's little CJ5. And this thing's a ripper. Just a good, classic CJ7. So, cruising around. Oh, they got the dune buggy out. Nice. The dune buggy. Had to teach my cousin how to use the turning brakes on our dune buggy. That way he can do some mad donuts with his girlfriend, you know. So anyways, guys, yeah, kind of a random, kind of a crazy video, but figured y'all get a little bit of a taste of what's going on. We're pulling people on skis, on jet skis, doing the whole deal. Having a good time for the 4th of July, guys. Having a good time. So, get stoked though. Sniper thing, looking sick. And man, Dad's Jeep, look at this. Washed out steering, baby. Washed out steering. What is up, Rad Potentialites? We're back at the Rad Ranch after a wicked 4th of July weekend. Just sat down in the Rx8. We got every single warning light you could imagine being on. We have it on right now. So, getting ready to pull this thing with very stuck brake rotors. There we go. I'd turn it on me, but no big deal. Ready to put this thing in the shop. How about those brakes? It bottomed out. I killed it. The battery was dead. And I think I'm high centered. It started. Yeah, I'm sorry. There we go. Well, that was a debacle getting this thing in the garage, but we're here. We definitely drug the bottom of the car. Oh yeah, scrapey. Looks good. Alright guys, so 2004 Rx8 Nordic Green, bunch of miles on it, unknown engine mileage. Well, it's kind of known, but it doesn't match. And it runs pretty meh. So, the plan for tomorrow is I'm going to take everything off of the engine down to the block pretty much. We're going to strip the upper intake manifold off. We're going to strip all that off and get this thing looking pretty nice. The car needs a wash. It's been sitting outside for a while. And then what I'm going to do right now is put one of my new wheels on so I can see how it looks. Check these rims out. No, they're not real TE37s. I'm going to get a sticker that says fake in red and put a fake sticker on all of them, because then making me look even more like TE37s. But me not cut myself on these drifty wheels. I ain't got to look pretty tough on there. So I'm going to get these this one. I'll do both of them. I got to jack the whole side up anyways. I'm going to get these two swapped on real quick so that I can see how gangster it looks. And you guys can see how awesome it looks too. Alright my dudes. These tires are definitely way too small. but I think the rims look super sick. So we're working with, I believe this is a 215 40 17, so I've got 245 40 17s coming for this Falcon RT 660s. Justin's got RE71Rs on his E36, but they were out of stock of RE71Rs, so we're going with broken bumpers. Oh, no shot! My dog chewed on that. Look at that. Letty! Come here. What is this? Hey. Look at this. Letty, you're tearing up my cars, yo! Shouldn't get that side. Something broke this side already. Front bumper's all good. Come on, dog! That was a real pain in my butt. Folks, this is where we've got to decide a big thing here really quick. I'm to this point with the removal of all the intake manifolds and stuff for this engine. One of the things that I think is wrong with it currently, I'll sweat for you guys, turn the fan off. So in your lower intake manifold, there's two valves. You have a SSV, which I believe is this thing right here. They can get dirty and get clogged up. I think there's another valve down in the lower, in the middle, maybe that bottom one's the SSV. Hey look, it's that bolt I dropped. Glorious. So anyways, I've cleaned the SSV without having to remove the engine, right? You can generally, once you remove all that wiring out of the way, you can kind of get all this stuff out of the way. You can just about get your hand in there to get the SSV and stuff out. Now, I really need to get the lower intake manifold off the engine. The whole unit. Okay? Now, much like a regular FC engine, like this one, it has bolts here, here, one in the center, and here and here. The whole intake manifold comes off. Now, what I believe to be my hit a brick wall at 6,000 RPM and not want to rev any further issue is that my auxiliary ports are not opening. On these, the Rx8s, in the engine, or I guess in the intake, there is a gear, an electric motor with a gear that turns and opens the 5th and 6th port actuators. So on these 6-port engines, this is a GSLSE engine, same as an Rx8 in theory. The upper port here is actuated off of a valve, okay, that opens at a certain RPM. On an Rx8, it's electronically controlled. On these, it's vacuum controlled, right? So I think those aren't opening. So like I said at the beginning of this clip 2 minutes ago, the decision I'm going to have to make right now is, do I remove the engine, which I believe I have to, in order to get the lower intake manifold off? Now that I'm looking at this like tight space here where I only have about a half an inch between that and the frame rail and tight spaces. Or do I clean everything up as it is, put it back together, and run it in a week? Alright guys, this is future Eric coming back to past Eric and interrupting before we end this video, because we're not going to remove the engine from the Rx8. Most likely, maybe, I don't know. Anyways, the reason to take it out for the checking the 6-port valve, I thought the 6-port valve, the 6-port motor, okay, it's an electric motor. And I know the motor is on the back of the intake, but I knew that, or I thought that it drove a shaft into the front that I could see the gear between the intake manifold and the engine, but I might be wrong. So as I'm looking down here and I looked up a picture of this intake manifold, You guys aren't going to be able to see jack because this thing's a Rx8. There's a little plug, little baby plug-in. See this wire right here at the tip of my daily whopper? That's that motor. And I think the gear actually resides underneath where that 10 mil is down there that you probably can or cannot see. And with that being said, I'm going to dig in here a little further and see if I can't get that off. And I think I'm just going to go ahead and start removing a whole bunch of this other crap that's right around this intake manifold and just strip the intake manifold down with it in the car. I know that I can get to the injectors and stuff, which is one of the other things that I'd like to remove. I don't know if I can get to the primary injectors. I hope that I can, but I want to get down in here and just kind of, like, I think I can get to them. I don't know. I'm pretty sure I can. So I'm going to start tearing into this a little bit further and see what I can figure out before just giving up right here. So you guys are going to get even more Rx8 video stuff. So what it looks like I'm going to do, since I did a bad job explaining what I was doing in the rest of this video, i.e. I didn't explain anything, I'm going to go ahead and unplug the ECU harness and flip it over so it's not chilling right here in my way. Then it's sitting on this side. Looks like I've got a busted wire on whatever plug this is, so I'm going to have to fix that probably. Pull these vacuum lines out of the way. I'm going to go ahead. It looks like this one right here is pretty clean, but it's pretty far away from the engine, this upper intake valve, this one. So that one looks reasonable. I'm going to pull the SSV, which is this lower back one, out here real quick. I really don't want to remove the water pump and stuff, but I'm pretty sure once I remove this big daily whopper out of the way that I can get to all of that. And we'll see. I don't know. This would definitely be way easier if I pulled the engine, but because I just wouldn't have to mess with any of this until I get it out of the car, and then that makes it 50 million times easier. So maybe we still end up pulling the engine, but I'm gonna go ahead and just start tearing into this so you guys will see some more stuff. So the ignition coils mount over here. The alternator you saw me pull off was here. Your Hall effect sensor, your little magneto pickup thingies down here for the front of your engine. Those wires are pretty sensitive. They're shielded. They're right here. Oil cooler lines running from the rear, right back there, over the top, down the bottom, and then up underneath here, there's a metal like connector that connects the two lines together, and then there's another one right up underneath over here that connects those together. Really not too bad. You can pull the oil cooler lines off right up here and pull the engine out. Leave everything attached to the engine. Like I said, it's kind of like a FD if you ever worked on one of those, where the engine harness and stuff stays on the engine. You can pull the whole deal out and then disassemble the engine off the thing, put the engine back together, put it back in. So, good fun. I do need to get the radiator out too. We're switching to an aluminum unit that's bigger, but that can come out the bottom. As you can see, there's no under tray, so there's a ton of room down there, which that was probably pretty 100% black. But here we go. I'll bring lights like that. But the AC condenser is kind of in the way, so we'll figure that out. I'm going to enclose all of this with a nice Home Depot plastic bathroom tile under tray. So I'm going to dig into this a little bit further. We'll see what we can get. Okie dokie, ladies and gentlemen, mostly 99.5% males around here, but we have access to the gear. See the gear up in there? So that's the gear that actuates your auxiliary ports, and from what I can tell, they seem to be in operational condition. This thing is spinning. I don't hear any adverse noises, i.e. another gear, on the backside being stripped or anything. So I'm really thinking that we're going to ship it for the weekend with this in it, and I'm not going to pull the engine. I had to remove this exhaust recirculation pipe, which guarantee you I will have an exhaust leak when I put that back on. Even if I replace the gasket. Right here, this is a little breather port that goes up through a metal pipe, which I pulled out of the way for now. You can see the metal pipe right there. I just kind of twisted it. It mounts to the intake manifold in a couple places. That goes right here. Single little 12 mil where my finger's at holds that up. And this is that little motor. So something that's super neat. There's junk in here. Okay, well, I'm gonna clean this up a little bit. Something that's super neat about this, if you see at the top of this right here, this little nub that sticks down, that seems to be some sort of magnetic sensor. As you can see on this gear, there's a little piece of steel in here, so that this motor can index itself to know when the 6-port is open and which one is when it's open and when they're closed. So now, just because the gears are in good shape doesn't mean that this motor's junk. It very well could be. Also doesn't mean that it's not broken on the inside and I just can't tell by spinning it. But, you know, for now, I think just because the track day is next week, we're probably going to leave it. We're probably just going to send it like it is. I do have on my Mazda software, I'm able to kind of tune stuff like that, so I can tell it when the actuator's open and stuff like that. I believe, at least on my FC, I had control of that. I'm pretty sure on this you do too. So now, with this stuff out of the way, you can see right here, bolt there, bolt down under here, and this valve will slide out. And this one looks clean and functional, as you can see, so that one will stay in there. Now, these are all ran, okay, all these valves are also ran off of these 3 vacuum solenoids. Right here, 1, 2, 3, okay? So, you can tell by the color of the vacuum solenoid to which one they go to, okay? So, the SSV right here runs off the white solenoid, right? Which is that one. So, making sure that all of those are also hooked up in the proper manner, with the proper plug, with the proper color vacuum tube is very important. And it could have been wrong on here, so when we put it back together, we're going to make sure they're right, because that also could have been a problem too. So basically how that works, once the ECU sees its vacuum signal, or I guess once the ECU sees its RPM signal, it uses the engine vacuum to actuate these little sucker devices here, which then, you can see that one, this one bridges both rotors front and rear together. This one's some fancy swirly looking valve on the inside. So we'll get to that. And you never know, this right here, this little wire, is a little bit busted, and that could very well be a part of our problem too, as that is a wire that goes to the sensor on the side of the SSC. Oh man, that was really stuck when I just tried to open that. I mean, it's moving. Actually, I really don't think that might be that bad. Well, I do still want to slide it out of there, so I know what the heck's going on. I know it's clean, I know it's good. Pretty sure it's just those 2 bolts. And that whole unit slides out of there. So, yeah, we got that going for me. And the other thing we're going to do, I'm going to pressure wash this engine bay, because I am over dirty stuff. I'd like to be able to flip or pull a lot of this engine wiring out of here, just I hate pressure washing wiring, but I don't know, I really don't like oil and grime and crap in here either. And I'm going to change my oil filter before I put the upper intake manifold on, so I don't crash my hand reaching in there for it. So, now, this is the end of the video. I'm not going to say it yet. We might still pull the engine, but for now, I'm not pulling the engine. I'm going to continue with what it is. I need to drop the radiator, pressure wash the bay out, get it nice and clean, and then start dressing this engine back up, and then we should be ready to send it for the track day. And who knows, it might blow up on the first track day, then we'll be pulling the engine out anyways. So, you never know. Maybe we leave it in and just send it. Comment below what you think. Let me know. Should I just send it, or should we be more careful? We only have 9 days. So, with that, guys, thank you very much for watching. We'll see you in the next one. As always, comment below with any questions. Now that we're working on the Rx8, drop comments below now on this video if you see them. on things that you want to see done on the Rx8. You have questions on yours, things that aren't working. Well, I have this, my car, in here as an example. I can teach you stuff. So, thank you guys very much for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Keep it rad. Buddy! Come here! Come on! You gotta close out the video for us. Oh, what's up? Hey, can you jump? Jump. Oh, good job. Peace.